Ngimosha isikhathi ke mangiphakamise ke umongameli ongenayo manje ngoMeyi uCommander in Chief Julius Malema amandla. Hey, two.
Amandla. Amandla. Tata EFF Tata. Tata EFF Tata. Phansi ngoKhongolose phansi. Phansi ngoRamaphosa phansi. Phansi ngo-IFP phansi. Phakama EFF phakama. Amandla. Siyabonga sibonge isihlalo umongezi Thwala. Sibonge abaholi be-EFF and everyone who's here today. Today I'm not here to speak for too long. Ngizokhuluma on Saturday eMabhida. Mara ngithe ngizila ngizonimema special because abantu bazemlazi they are special in the EFF. That's why I am here to say please come in your numbers at Moses Mabhida where we are going to make history. Everything else that is not provided here, it will be there on Saturday. You must arrive on time because EFF will be making history on Saturday. We need you as the future of South Africa to take a stand because it is the youth that change South Africa for the better. And if you don't take a stand now, we will live in these conditions we live in. No white man stays in a condition we find ourselves in because a black person is treated like an animal. They just leave us the way we are. They don't care about us. But before May, they will all be here going up and down. After elections, they disappear. We want to build proper houses for our people. A proper house means it must have a flushing toilet. If a house can't have a flushing toilet, it's not a house at all. Even if they call it an RDP house, it's a glorified mkuku. It's not a house. A house means a kitchen, a bedroom, a lounge, and a flushing toilet in an inside bathroom, not outside bathroom. No white person has got a toilet outside. We want everything that white people have because we deserve better than them. This is our land. They found us here and they can't find us here and become better than us. So the EFF is about the land because we don't want you to stay the way you are. We want to allocate proper piece of land where children will have enough space to play inside the yard, not on the road, because a home, it's a yard, it's a demarcated proper plot where you've got a proper address and children can say, this is my home. Not a place where you go to work, when you come back in the afternoon, someone has put a shack in front of you. That is not a proper place for settlement. It must be a human settlement. And a human settlement must be different from Isbaya Zinkomo. Because Isbaya, you just put anything around it and you don't care. But as human settlement, will have a place of worship. Isonto will have a shopping complex, will have a school, will have dedicated parks, will have clinics, because human beings stay here, not a place where there is no clinic. And when you have a clinic, it closes at 4 o'clock. As if you are only sick during the day and you are not sick at night. Most people are sick at night. That's why the clinic must open 24/7. And it must not just be a clinic. It must have medical equipment inside. It must have qualified nurses. It must have a doctor. It must have an ambulance on site, so that if your sickness is bigger than the clinic itself, the ambulance can rush you to a tertiary hospital. Those who don't have cars are sick at home, the ambulance must leave the clinic to go and fetch them from their homes. Those are places of human settlement. In the absence of such facilities, we live like animals, because we go to a toilet that doesn't flush. We drop it there and we still see it. After dropping it, you must not see it. Only animals can see it, not human beings. But they treat us like animals. That's why we still see it after dropping it. If you want to change your life, it's up to you. Because most of us, before we go to a voting to a toilet, you will be rushing to a toilet that is not flushing, and then go and vote for the same government which gave you a reminder just before voting that you don't have a flushing toilet. Therefore, you are treated like an animal. Let's not use heart when we vote. Let's use our brains. The time has come that we all apply our minds. As you leave your toilet, you must say, I don't deserve this. I'm leaving this today because tomorrow I want a flushing toilet, and I'll get a flushing toilet. Where is the flushing toilet? It's in that voting station, in that ballot paper. When you vote, you say, my unemployment ends today. I want a party that is going to give us jobs, and don't give us jobs according to our political parties. I must not be a member of the ANC for me to get a job. I must not sleep and have sex with ANC councillor for me to get a job. I must not come from ANC relatives for me to have a job. I must be South African with an ID and qualifications for me to qualify to get a job in eThekwini municipality. So that is the kind of the government the EFF wants to build. A caring government, not a government of load shedding, where you are relaxed. Like tomorrow, we're supposed to relax and watch Bafana Bafana beat Nigeria as they are about to score. Load shedding. Every time a nice moment happens on TV, Utati Ikesu Ramaphosa Nazi is that knows which consumes Ikesu or Lenza. So we don't want a government that gives us darkness. We want a government that gives us the light. And when we go to vote, we are going to vote for a light and not for a darkness. We don't deserve to stay in the darkness that ANC has subjected us to. We want these children to go to school for free of charge. And every time you speak of free of charge, people think that you are talking about money only. Free means education must be liberated. It must be a freedom education itself. It must not teach you to worship white men. It must not teach you to hate yourself. We want free education that will make you have self-love, that will make you respect yourself as an African. We want education that comes with school shoes and school uniform. That's what free means. You can't say, don't pay school fees, but pay for the shoes. Don't pay for the school fees, you are poor, Shem, so poor. Don't pay for school fees, but pay for uniform. Where do I get money of uniform if I can't get money of school fees? If I don't qualify to pay school fees, I must not pay for everything, including learning material and food at school. Because a child must not be thinking they are joking about my shoes because they are not in good condition, or I don't. No, a child must be confident and only concentrate on learning. That's how we are going to produce talented people. We want you from high school to tertiary to go in free of charge, because education is not a commodity. They can't sell education the same way they are selling bread. You can't buy education the same way you are buying Brentwood. There must be a difference, because education is a constitutional right. You are born with that right, and therefore no one can make you pay for your right. When you go to tertiary, you must enter for free. But because we are led by fools who don't think, they say to you, your mother gets SASA, and then you go to free school. You don't have to pay for anything, and they even make you food, eat, feeding scheme. From there, when you pass matric, they say pay 5,000 rand for registration, after not paying for anything when you were at secondary. What has changed between me passing matric in December and me coming to the university in January? What happened? Where did I get the money in between? Some fools can't think that it is the same child that we're giving food and free schools in Umlas. But when they come to Mangosuthu or DUT, their lives should have changed. They should be having some money somehow. That is illogical. So we want you, when you arrive at the university, they must take your ID and punch it. After punching your ID number, it must say the mother is a beneficiary of SASA. The father passed away. Automatically you qualify to get free education. We must not ask you a lot of questions. We must not ask you to display your poverty. Hey, go and do an affidavit. Your father died. Go and do an affidavit. Hey, stupid, you don't know my father died, and you call yourself government. You are the one who gave me a birth certificate and said my father died. Why would you ask me if my father is still alive after certifying him dead? You don't know what you are doing. That's why you're asking me stupid questions. So we need to end that. We need you. Everywhere you go, you present your ID. It speaks for yourself. The same thing as going to a hospital. All of these are called government hospital. You go to a hospital in Umlas, they do a file, they ask you everything. Next week, you are terribly sick, you can't even speak. You are in Durban hospital there of government. They don't know. They got your ID number, they can punch it, but they don't know your previous history. They don't know what you are allergic to. Because a health system must be able to say he's allergic to certain medication. What happens? You go to a hospital, you've got the problem of the teeth. They remove your teeth and give you wrong medication that you are allergic to. You come back, the site is paralyzed because no one knows your medical history. That is a government that doesn't care. That's why Ramaphosa killed people in Marikana. We thought, that was the end. He's still killing people today because load shedding means death. When you are in a hospital on a breathing machine, when the load shedding hits, and between load shedding and the generator kicking in, that machine stops giving you support and you die. If we were to conduct a research of how many people died on breathing machines because of load shedding, you'll agree that Ramaphosa is a murderer of note who kills our people unashamedly. Fighters, businesses have been killed here in Umlazi. When I drive in Durban, there were shops that were selling cars, car dealers. They are closed. When there is load shedding, KFC is a big company. It closes shop. Imagine you with a shop in a township. What happens when there is a load shedding? Because if you put a generator and you put a diesel, then the whole profit goes into the generator and the diesel. There is no need for that business. That's why people are closing their shops, closing their businesses, because the murderer, Ramaphosa, through load shedding, has killed not only human beings, he has killed businesses of South Africa. That's why the economy is down. When he came in, they said, this is a rich man, he's a billionaire, he's going to grow our economy. Our economy is worse than during the time of Zuma. Unemployment is worse than the time of Zuma. Corruption that we're fighting with Zuma about has doubled, more corrupt. That's why a president can put money in a mattress, the dollars in a mattress. Zuma, even when we fought with him, we never found money in a mattress, and where's money in foreign currency? I don't want to talk a lot because foreign currency means you are using the money that is not yours. It belongs to a particular country. Now, only the spies, the people who are spies and working for foreign states, are paid in dollars. And what if your president is paid in dollars because he's saving the interest of America and not the interest of South Africa? Because if you serve the interest of South Africa, you are paid with rands. Rands is the only currency by law in South Africa which you are allowed to trade with. You can't trade with a dollar. Even in Santain, a diamond walk, you will never buy with a dollar. Only rand get used in South Africa. Your president is using a foreign currency because a man is rotten to the core and has got no respect for the laws of South Africa. There is too much poverty here in Umlazi. You don't have to ask. You can touch it when you walk. Why would a president with such money give all of us unemployed people with no income 350, all of us equal? You can't do that. Life is never like that. People must be given money according to their qualifications. We are not opposed to 350. So if we like 350, we'll maintain it when we take over government. But that will be for matricless people. Those who don't have matric shall get 350. The matric ones will get 1,000. The degree ones will get 3,000. Why? Because to go to school, you must get a job. If they can't give you a job, they must pay you for having gone to school. It must be rewarding to go to school. Your children will not go to school. If we are going to continue like this, your children are going to refuse to go to school because they are going to say, Mama, you are educated, you've got a degree. But my uncle is not educated, doesn't even have matric, but you both get 350. What is the point of me going to school? I can be like my uncle and still be like you. So there must be a difference between those who work hard for their future and those who don't have matric for whatever reason. Let's take care of them. They must not be isolated. Some have left because of family situations. We understand that. But those who have gone beyond must be rewarded. Comrades, we can't be a country proud of unemployed graduates. How do you have a country priding itself with giving unemployed graduates 350? But Malema will cancel a grant, and he cancel a grant, because a grant is what is responsible for umlazi. Wabana mawunikeza ugogo a grant, you are sure she's going to buy a bag of millimil and put it behind the door and feed the whole family, including those who are working, because our gogos are caring people and they look after the poor of the poorest. That's why you must take money from Palapala and give it to gogos, because they are the most deserving people. So we need to double their money, and if anyone says to you, where will the money come from? Ask them, where did the money of COVID come from? Because we always know we don't have money. All of a sudden there is 5 billion, 10 billion. Ramaphosa is eating it alone with his own friends. We want the child support grant to be doubled as well, because these children must be fed. When you don't feed children, you are letting them go and steal from other people. So we need to feed them at school. They must be guaranteed there is food. When they come back, there is food at home. Therefore, we don't go anywhere. We concentrate on studying, go and play with our friends, come back, eat, bath, and go to sleep. That is the quality of life we need for these children. And don't tell me that, no, why are they making children when they are poor? You are poor, don't make children. If that was the policy, I wouldn't be standing here. A poor woman gave birth to me. And why do you say the poor must not give birth to children because they are poor? It doesn't mean because they are poor, they will die poor. That child you are refusing them to give birth to might be a child who's coming to destroy the generational curse in that family and make that family a better family. So you must not go around saying, hi, if you give them child grant, they are going to make children. My grandmother made 9 children. There was no child grant. So it's not child grant that makes children. Plus, Leonard, you are worse. You are very lazy to give birth. Most of you, 3, 2, 3. I don't understand. Those people, our grannies, grandfathers were giving birth. And there is nothing wrong with giving birth. It's our right. We are reproducing ourselves as a nation, and in making that point, we must never try to look like we are sophisticated. No, there's nothing wrong. And when they say, how are you going to feed these children? Tell them their father Malema will feed them, because he's going to take over this government and take care of the poor of the poorest. In the EFF, we are driven by black love. When you love black people, you will never see another black person suffer. It is the poverty that exists amongst our people which makes the EFF to fight. And we are going to fight until you get economic freedom. You are nothing without the land. That's why they are fighting EFF. When we fight for umhlaba, it's not just the soil, it's your dignity as a black person. The reason why our mothers were called kitchen girls, our fathers were called garden boys, is because they did not have the land. Only boys and girls won't have property. That's why even when you are old and you are propertyless, they say you are a girl, you are a boy. So we need to give you property for them to respect you. In the absence of property, you'll never be respected. Here in Umlazi, half the time we see our fathers who stay in the shacks in small piece of land. When they come from Umkiti, a wedding there, they come in next to that shack, next to that piece, very small piece of land. Arukwamela. The reason why Ukwamela, when he enters there, he feels the inner being. He is proud that even if I die, I've got this small piece of land. That's what property does to people. The only way you are going to respect yourself, the only way you are going to be respected is when you own property. That's why when they came here, they never asked to rent. They took the land by force because they knew by the land their dignity will be restored. When we walk here, you can go to Max's place where the rich think they are playing. Look at them the way they walk. They walk because they walk like that. We walk like that because we have no confidence. We doubt ourselves. And that comes from lack of ownership of property. So when we walk, our shoulders drop. Half the time we hold in the other hand at the back because we are apologetic and we are telling them we are not suspect, we have not done anything wrong. Then the white man comes. When he walks, his shoulders are straightened up and you can hear and feel the footsteps. And that time, he doesn't have metric, the bastard. He's confident with illiteracy because he's got property. Most children of African are farmers. If you go into their farms, those kids can't speak English, they can't read, they can't write. But those are the kids that you, with your degree, you are going to be worshipping because you don't have the land. So when you speak the land, you don't talk to fools about it. Internalize it yourself. Then you will know what is the land. When you give birth to a child as Africans, you cut the umbilical cord and you bury the umbilical cord. You don't flush it. You bury the umbilical cord. What is the umbilical cord? It's a connection between the mother and the child. We bury it on the land to connect you to the land. So that every time as you stand on that land, sometimes without shoes, you will feel it inside that my presence is here because this land belongs to me. But they've made you to look for something else, drifted you away from why the struggle was formed in the first place. The ANC was formed in 1912. At the center of its formation was the land. The struggle, the fights, the wars of dispossession in the Eastern Cape that were fought by Xhosas against whites, the Khoi and the San against whites, those fights, battles where we were defeated, it was about the land. No battle was ever fought anywhere for voting. Now they gave us what we wanted, voting. They will never have given us voting if voting was like the land. That which is important, they will never give it to you. That's why EFF is the enemy. That's why EFF is not allowed in parliament during the State of the Nation, because EFF is the one that brought the land question back into parliament, and everybody now speaks about the land. So fighters, let's mobilize the youth. Registration is not closed. Register them online. Those who don't have access to online structures of the EFF must make access to that. All of this I'm speaking about needs you, the youth of Umlazi, to stand up. You have done it against the armed regime of the Boers. You can't be defeated by these fools I worked with them. I know they can't think. We cannot be defeated by unthinkers. When we defeated guns, when we defeated bombs with our stones and our passion to reclaim our land, let's go back to those days and take our rightful place as the youth of Umlazi. Youth of Umlazi, you are not known for being cowards. You are known for being brave young people of South Africa. Stand up now and commit your body to fighting for the freedom of our people in the coming elections. Amandla! Amandla!